Hello. So I am back. I'm in the middle of job hunting, taking a quick break. These notifications are distracting. I gotta find a way to get these banners off my phone. Every time ding ding and there's a notification coming down. Um, Anyhow, so I've been job hunting and it's quite discouraging because it's hard to stay encouraged because it's like I'm kind of isolated in the sense that I'm home all day looking for jobs. Um, Still dealing with this back pain from accident I had a few months ago. So I am about my goal today is to find a doctor and just go. I hope the cost isn't too high um, because right now I don't have insurance because mine expired last month, and I rather wait until I get a job to get insurance. But I'm thinking I'm just going to go to the doctor because this pain is it's just getting worse from the accident. I thought it was totally fine. It's funny, I didn't feel any pain. I was sore and aching from the accident, but um, as time goes on, I'm starting to feel like more of this residual pain in me, and it's getting progressively worse. So I need to go to the doctor, get physical therapy, and just get my body back into alignment because it's causing me. It shouldn't hurt for me to sit down for a few minutes, and like I get up, and I'm like, oh, I'm stiff. So I must have really pulled something out of place or overworked something. I don't know what the case is, but I've been dealing with this back pain and it's not fun. And I'm young and sexy. I mean, back pain, but that's what happens. Sometimes you get in an accident, you don't feel the pain until hours later, and then the residual pain can show up months later because either you're working. When I had my job, when I got a new job, I thought it was fine, but that job triggered back pain because I was sitting down all day in the office. It was freezing cold, so I could feel all the where the injury was. So anyway, long story short, pray for me as I find a good doctor and a good physical therapist to get my body back into alignment because I think that's what it is. The accident whacked my body out of alignment. It can get back into alignment. I think it's just some tweaks and something they need to do because something is out of place. So pray for me. And while I'm doing that, I'm looking for jobs. Um, And as I sit here, I think maybe God has it to where I'm able to reflect on a lot of things, especially with this COVID-19, this whole case coming out, and a lot of stuff has been exposed down from the government officials to politicians to community leaders, church leaders, um, jobs, your friends, and even me. I've learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about people, and this is like when you go through hardship, it really shows you who your true friends are, and it separates the boys from the men and the women from the girls. So I've seen a lot of that happen. I mean, things have gotten so exposed, it's ridiculous. It's like out right there. It's like nothing under the sun surprises me anymore. And so with this being said, I had a lot of time to reflect and gather more introspect on myself and in situations and being able to self-reflect. I'm being closer to God. And um, I'm grateful for that. And I'm going to keep this brief and short. But I was watching a Jocelyn Toller case. I admire Jocelyn Toller. She's such a positive role model for young women, and she sets the record straight. I like her because she has a sense of humor. She tells it like it is. She's blunt and honest, but she says it with such grace. And she's motivational. And yeah, she has a good couple of laughs and everything, but when she means business, when it's time to get down to business, and that's what I admire about her. She she's like she knows where to get to you and how to speak to you to get it in your heart to show you what she sees and what you need to do to better yourself. I'm watching this particular case, and the clip was showing this man. Basically, he was a deadbeat, a no good son of a gun, doing nothing that he should have been doing as a man. So this young girl, she's young at the time when they met. She was 23, now they're 28, and she stayed with this man because she said she didn't know any better. She didn't know anyone. She don't want to leave him. She don't want to start over. And the judge is like, what in the world are you trying to hold on to? This man is no good to you. He has a community situation, meaning he's sleeping around town with different women. And not only he's sleeping with different women, he's using your things to supply these women with and riding around in your car with other women and then bring them back to the house where you're the main chick. That right there is just nothing but emotional abuse. So this young lady has been emotionally neglected, sexually neglected, all the things that you should give to a woman, she hasn't been getting. I mean, what kind of man is that? They're having sex, and a phone call comes. First of all, I imagine if you're having sex, no phone should be anywhere near you because you want to enjoy having sex. Why are you going to stop having sex, answer the phone to a side chick, and then go back to having sex? Like, that would kill anything. And so, it was that bad. Then the guy probably admits, yeah, I did that. I stopped having sex so I can answer the phone to another side chick. And yeah, I bring him home. He was bragging about this. So most men that had any ounce of shame would have their head hung so low and the tail between their legs, they couldn't even speak up. Not this man. He was proud about it. And, holding his head back like, how some of the guys do. And yeah, I did that. And I'm thinking, nasty? No good. So anyway, so long story short, as a result, as we all can expect, if you know anything about Justin Toller, her style, she tore into this man. This man was so stunned by the end of the case, he had to get the bills to escort him out because he was just so like, didn't know what to say. And Justin Toller was saying, he said the way you respond to this nonsense, all this crap, is you put him out. Don't even try to fix him. Don't hope he's going to get better because he's not going to change because number one, you with him and he feels he has no reason to change. So she was like, you need to put him out. Don't keep him in there because he's going to just keep using you and then getting what he wants from somebody else because he feels like he's not, he doesn't see your self-worth and he just doesn't care about you. I mean, she tore him up, basically saying, listen, don't go in our community and wreck all of our women and then cause more problems in our community. And then you turn around, you're not defending the community, and the only thing you think about yourself and your lower regions. It's not all about you. And that's what he told her. And I guess she couldn't stand and look him in the face, so she just got him, he had to be escorted out because that was beyond no good. And when she was done with him, she also tore into the young lady, not in a mean way, but telling her, you need to know yourself, boy, stop laying around and being around these no good men. That man doesn't deserve you. And she was an attractive young lady, and a pretty young lady. And I mean, this girl was crying through the whole case. You can see the hurt and pain in her eyes. This girl was crying, eyes watery, nose running throughout the whole case. I mean, this girl was just torn down. You could just see it in her eyes. And Joe was like, talk to her saying, why you put up with this foolishness? You deserve better. You can start over. And she said, don't let men treat you like that. You deserve better. And she called her out on the judge, called her out on her foolishness for putting up with that long and said, you deserve better. She said, I hope and pray you won't go back to him, in so many words. So, I mean, it was a good case. And it resonated with me deeply because I had a similar situation like that. I'm trying to keep this short and not go off on so many tangents. But the reason that case resonated with me is because I had a similar situation. Although the friend I had staying over we were not romantically involved. I had no romantic interest in him. I saw no future with him. I saw him as just a friend. However, I've learned that men, if you let them in your home, they see more than just a friend. They want sex. They want to live like they're married without being married. So I learned my lesson with that. I thought I was helping a friend because of COVID-19 and all this other stuff. I said, well, I'll help him out and he'll find a place to stay. That wasn't the case. I said, well, there's apartments over here, there, and everywhere else you can get. I said, it's cheaper to live out in the county than it's in the city. The city, you got too many surprise bills. Things fluctuate. You got to worry about parking. You got to pay for transit. It's just a lot of stuff. I said, out in the county, you got a car. It's a little bit cheaper. And if you want to go into the city, it's not such a strain. You can just pay, you know, pay for a one-way ticket or whatever, and you're fine, or a two-way ticket, and you're fine. So anyway, so I was helping him. I said, well, I'll get him acquainted to the area or whatever. This man wasn't trying to move out. He was planning on staying here permanently. And in my mind, you can stay here for a couple weeks till you get a job. And so I was getting tired of the situation. I got a job. I got a job about like 2 weeks after I had about 2 or 3 weeks after I had a car accident. And so anyway, after you get a job, your mindset changes. You're in a different mode. And I felt like him being able to be a distraction. I said, you got to move out. So I told him 2 weeks, you got to be out. That date came and passed, he still wasn't here. I said, you got to move out. I'm not putting up with the, and he came up with all kind of excuses. Oh, I don't have my check and this and that. And I noticed a pattern in him. He claimed to have the money, but after a few days, he disappeared. I said, that's because he got paid. And when you get paid, you're going to go out and party and sex it up or drug it up, whatever his case is. He disappeared for 3 days and then came back. And I said, I said, he got money, and now he out of money. Nobody's letting him stay with him because he ain't got no money. And so I got tired with that. I put him out because I'm not putting up that foolishness. And then I feel the wait on the rest of the background check to come back. Kind of found this man had a violent criminal record, and that's not the worst part. This man owed over $70,000. Yes, $70,000, $70,000, basically a year's wages in child support and back child support. And I said, okay, because he would always say, well, I'm not married. I said, okay, well, some men just don't get married until they're much older. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. And then when you turn around and say, oh, I have children. You have children, but you're not married. And then not only do you have multiple children, you have with different baby mothers. I said, oh, so now you paying back. The fact you had to pay back child support means you did not raise your children. You weren't in their lives, because if you weren't in their lives, you wouldn't have to pay child support. I said, that's what it is. So he had a violent criminal record. And anytime you see when it says endangerment of the welfare of a child, that means you weren't there to raise that child and you didn't pay child support. You failed in both areas. So that's why he was incarcerated because of that. And then number two, he was arrested for indecent exposure. I'm like, whoa, what in the world is this? And I'm so glad he got out. And then he was so nice and so kind to me until I told him, I said, you got to move out because this ain't working. And he got all mad, got all nasty, got all angry. And that's when all his demons started showing. I said, you got to move out. I said, I told you last week to be gone. You're still here. And I need you to move out. He didn't move out. He didn't take me seriously. I put him out. I called the cops. And he was gone. I said, well, he showed this. I mean, this man, he had about as much stuff as a college student, what you would put in the dorm room. He had a bunch of clothes, a bunch of everything, a bunch of little bags and everything, This is enough for a dorm room. I don't know how that man managed to get down my stairs, out the door, and the courtyard I'm in, it's like you got like a couple 100 feet to walk to get to the street. And I don't know how he managed to move out of here that fast to avoid the cops. And I said, somebody to leave half their things behind. I mean, he left bags of clothes in my car. I forgot what was in there. I didn't even realize it was in there until weeks after he left. It was in there. He left things in the kitchen. He left things in the closet. He had things everywhere in here because he was trying to move in permanently. And I'm thinking, no, you about to get out in a few weeks because I'm not going to just have you stay here for free. And every time I turn around, there's a bill coming through the door. And every single bill that comes to me, it's got my name on it. So that tells you I'm a woman that runs her own household. And I'm responsible for every single bill that comes to that door. Nobody, even my mom and dad, there's nobody helping me. It's me, myself. There's no government. There's no mommy and daddy. I'm a grown woman paying all her bills. And sometimes it gets tough, but I know I got to sacrifice something to get the bills paid. That's what it takes to be an adult. I got my priorities in order. Right now, I'm looking for a job because I got to pay my car off. I don't want to be stuck paying for a car 6, 7 years. I want to pay this car rent a month and just sacrifice, you know, going to get my hair done. Well, I got to get my hair done, but get the nails and the salon and the spa and the going to the games and all that stuff. I had to just cut out. Which the coronavirus helped with that because they cut out all these things, you know. And so now, even that the sports are back, I'm not interested in them because why? I've lived without it so long. I don't miss it. I've been cutting cable off a year ago. I caught a lot of things going out to this happy hour and all. Those things cost and they add up. So there's sacrifices that need to be made when you have to keep your bills paid. It's sacrifices you got to make. I know I can't go out and buy a bunch of clothes. I got this car note to pay. I had to just deal with the clothes I got until next year and maybe update a little bit, but that's life. This man wasn't trying to do none of that. He wanted everything free. Living up under me, no. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's in the water. I don't know what this is, where this thing now, where men think they can live up under a woman and I can be a sugar mama. I don't want that. There were so many red flags in this incident. Number one, you father children you didn't raise. You weren't married. That lets me know you didn't raise your children, and that's why you want back child support. Number two, you're getting paid under the table to evade getting the child support coming out. And you're not paying taxes. You're not putting into the system. And some people like me, if you got new money, you put it into a retirement savings plan, or you put it in Social Security with the government. Either way, you got to put something into the system. Me, I use the 401k retirement plan. I don't trust the government with my Social Security. I know they take some out, but I rather save my own money. Um, Number two, when you retire, you're not going to have anything coming out of your retirement savings plan, the 401k, and you're not going to have anything coming out of the government because some people do apply for that welfare. I understand some people need that. You have nothing in either situation, so you're going to just be without. You're 51 and didn't invest in paying into your 401k or paying into some retirement savings plan, something. When you retire, you're going to have nothing. You didn't put nothing in, so you can get nothing out. Number three, you done moved multiple times. And I can see if you're in the active duty military when they move a lot. But even with that, when I was in active duty military, even myself, I had a home of record. I had a permanent address in South Carolina because that's where I joined the military, and I ended up joined in the South Carolina, and they flew me off to basic training. But I had a home of record. I don't care where I moved in the United States, wherever in the world, wherever the Air Force put me, they said, well, she came from South Carolina. The same thing with a job. And if you have a job that moves you around a lot, I get it. But you have a home of record. And I know the company may move you around, but you have a permanent address at back home or whatever. But he had neither. He had no military service, and he had no company that he worked for that would move him around the United States. So that's a red flag. When you move that many times, that's a red flag. That either means you can't keep a place, or you got kicked out, or whatever the case is. That's instability. So it was so many red flags. And then when I said you got to move out, the whole dynamic of the friendship changed, and he got nasty and got rude and got loud with me. I said, you got to move out. I'm not going to have you just stay here and not pay anything. And even if you are, it's not right because number one, you're not on the lease, and number two, I don't want to get involved with that. And so he didn't move. A week later, a week rolls around. I said, you're still here. I said, I need you to move out. You can't just have me move out at the last minute. I said, telling you to move out a week ago is not the last minute. I said, you should have been out. And I'm tired, burned up from my job, working 12-hour days and stuff, just tired. I didn't feel like dealing with it. I said, you got to move out. And he got all nasty and loud and started yelling and everything. The next morning I said, you got to move out. And he kept getting louder and louder and louder. I said, oh no, this is about to escalate, so I called the cops. And he fled. And I said, wow, that's a sign. And I went back into this background check. and I saw where a lot of it didn't come back until after I checked again. I said, "Oh," I said, "So he is on a run." I said, "That's what it is. That man left half his life behind, and he was trying because if he got caught, he would have been in jail because of his record. He already got a violent criminal record, and then you cause a domestic disturbance by raising your voice, and things are escalating, and he's getting louder and louder, and the next thing somebody's gonna start swinging, and he's gonna either vandalize my place or end up hitting me, and I wasn't having either. So I called the cops. The cops were here in 5 minutes. That joker was gone. I put him out because I'm not gonna tolerate that. Friend or romantic partner, I'm not gonna tolerate that. That is not a man. That is a bum that will live either continue to live off the government or live off another woman and not provide for himself. And ladies, you do not want that. And that's back to the Judge Lintola case. I'm not saying we won't run into situations like that. You will run into men that are bums and will not do better for themselves, and it's just going to cause you to go into it will just devolve into utter chaos, stress, depression, and everything else. But once you realize that they're up to nothing but no good crap, you send them packing. You put your foot down, you take a stand, you stand firm, you stand your ground, and get them out. Put them out. Don't let them stay, because if they stay, they're going to stay and stay and stay because they get everything free. That man was the type of man that was entitled, and that's another thing, too. People think people that are poor or don't have much, they think they're like you got to feel sorry for them. I'm going to tell you from experience, sometimes people that are poor, not all, but the ones I've dealt with that are poor, they act so entitled, thinking that I had a hard life, so I deserve everything free. No, it doesn't work like that. I don't care if you're rich or poor or in between. You got to work for what you want. It's going to be harder for some and easier for the next, but you still got to work. Work is what gets you where you need to be. Work brings the income. When you work, your mind is engaged in improving yourself. He wasn't trying to work. You grab a little side hustle. A side hustle is not a job. Uh-oh. A side hustle is just that, a side hustle. It's not a regular everyday 9 to 5 job, nothing like that. So like I said, I put him out because I deserve better. I'm not gonna put myself under that kind of nonsense, under that kind of scrutiny. It ain't gonna happen. And that's why I go back to the Judge Lintola case. That young lady, like I said, as soon as you see that this is crap, put him out. That's how you get rid of him. Put him out because they don't think they gotta change because you're giving him everything he needs for free. In my case, it wasn't sex, but it was a shelter. It was some food might be in the fridge, and you have a place to stay. You live in a nice neighborhood. He loved all that stuff, but I worked my butt off to get here. It took a couple of years, but I got here. I'm saying so it's a difference. And he tried to use that, I'm a poor black man, I'm a Christian, I'm a child of God, and he tried to pull that fake church Christian stuff on me. I learned now that doesn't work. And be careful, I'm not saying all poor people are scams, but some people will use it as a crutch to get you to feel sorry for them. I'm poor, I'm broke, it's hard for a black man in America nonsense, and pull the race card and make you feel bad. Listen, I understand there's some racial profiling and stigma, but it happens, but you can get past it. And so I put him out, he had to go. And as I said with this young lady, I'm telling you women, put them out. If they're not being a man, first of all, they should have their own place in providing. If they can't provide for themselves, baby, they ain't gonna take care of you because they ain't taking care of themselves. And if you didn't take care of the children, they certainly ain't gonna take care of yours. So don't even get yourself caught up in that. Once you find yourself caught up, remove yourself from the net, cut yourself out of there, because half the time they're giving you the scissors to cut yourself away out of the net. Get out of there, swim away as fast as you can, and bring yourself to safety. Don't stay in there. Don't be like, oh, well, I caused it on myself, so what? You make mistakes. Wake up and move on. Don't start beating yourself up. Don't put yourself down because you made a mistake. We all make mistakes. Move on. So that was that. So that case resonated with me greatly. And then I was talking to the second guy. Same thing, but in a different way. The guy came from an affluent family and whatever. I said, oh, he got it all together. He sounded like he had it all together until we started talking. First thing out of his mouth is sex. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. You talked within the first of 2 to 3 phone calls, you talked about sex and I can do with you and you can do with me. Red flag. Number 2, he never showed a picture of himself, and he's always asking you to send pictures to him. I'm telling you not to get graphic, but he's pleasuring himself to your pictures. Don't send them. Because he just wants to get that excitement off of seeing a female's face, and you don't get to see his on live video or an actual updated photo in real time of him. Don't bother. Block him, because he's probably a pervert or hunting down. No, not hunting. Men are supposed to hunt, but they're not supposed to be a predator, as in creating prey out of women. Block him. I told this man no. I said, if you come to see me, we're not having sex. I want to get to know you. He got an attitude, got nasty, and cursed me out and all this other stuff. And that's when I should have ended it. But I was thinking, well, maybe he had a bad day. So we reconnected. He was put on the act for a while. The sex subject came up again. I said, no, I am remaining abstinent until marriage. I'm not going to live with a man I'm not married to. And I said, basically in so many words, I was telling him, I was trying to word it in a way it wouldn't hurt his feelings. But I was like, healing is essential before getting into a new relationship. And I said, the longer you've been in a previous relationship, the longer it's going to take to heal. And depending on what happened, it's going to take different types of healing to take place for you to be made whole again. Because healing is not just straight, linear processes. It's up and down. It's hills and valleys. It's roller coasters, sideways, up, down, in between, all around. Healing is not this linear process. So with him, the second guy, it was out of self-deflection. He was flipping the blame on me. If he's upset, I'm the reason he's upset. If I said something that offended him, he says I'm insensitive and abrasive when I just got told off in a nasty manner about something else by him. So it was like every time I would bring something up, he would flip the blame. And that's a form of abuse. That's what you call emotional gaslighting. He did that. So it was a history of that, and I'm like, okay, this ain't working. And then I called him out on calling me saying, oh, I'm doing this in my bedroom. I said, would you like to come and join? Saying all kind of raunchy, nasty stuff. And I was like, I called him, I said, stop. I'm not the type of woman to let you just talk like that. Then he got quiet and disappeared for a couple of days. Then he come back on the phone. Oh, I'm sorry, I love you, and all this dumb stuff. And then it was one night, I got tired of his antics. I said, I understand you honest or whatever, but this right here, I'm not going to tolerate people being abrasive to me or whatever. And I was giving my opinion about certain things. He got all mad because I had a different opinion from him. And then he blamed me for having an opinion. I called him out on it. And then he said some things I didn't like. I said, look, I got to go. And he got mad because, see, I was standing up for myself. He didn't like that. I was beginning to see his crap. And I got tired with it. He was all nasty and angry. And when I called him out on things, he gets nasty. I said, oh, no. Number one, when you talk about your ex-wife and thing all the time, you haven't gotten over it. Number two, when you keep flipping the blame on me, that means you have no insight into how you contributed to the downfall of your previous marriage. Number three, if I can't say a word in edgewise and you get offended and you get extra sensitive and then start lashing out on me and you flip the blame again, that's a red flag. Number 3, number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I haven't seen a picture of you in real life. Every time you have a picture, it's hard to tell if it's photoshopped or not. And when you send me a picture, it's either grainy or poorly done. And you don't FaceTime me. You don't call for days. You talk to me kind of way. So it was like multiple red flags within one in itself. So I got tired of this crap. And he said, I just can't stand when you question me about everything. And that was his last text to me. And I responded back. And I was calm when I said it. I was upset because he hurt my feelings, but I was very calm. I said, you know what? I understand that I question you a lot. I said, but the fact that I've never seen you, don't know what you really look like, is why I have my guard up. And I said, secondly, I need space, time, room to heal and grow. And then thirdly, I put it so gently, I said, I'm undergoing a healing process, intensive healing process. And it's been great talking to you. I wish you the best. You are a sweetheart. But I must move forward. Take care. And it was so calm. It's like when you bring the calm, it's like, whoa. Because I didn't let him affect me to the point where I would yell at him and lash back out at him. And after that, I blocked him on my phone. I blocked him on all social media accounts. And that's that. Did the pain hurt? Oh, the heck yes it did. Oh, yes, it did. And I can't say I'm fully innocent. And I didn't do anything like wrong. But I should say I'm not fully. Basically, it takes two people to have a relationship. I'm innocent as in way I never disrespected him or hurt him intentionally in that way or did anything wrong by him. But I did make some mistakes. Number one, like the first guy, I didn't let the rest of the background check come back. And the same thing with this guy. I didn't consult with God long enough to have the full spiritual background check on the second guy. So in all, lesson learned. Make sure you have a physical, full-blown, A to Z, head to toe, thorough examination background check in the physical, and make sure you do the same in the spiritual when you consult with God. So you should have two background checks in one. You got to know their bloodline, their medical history, their family history. You got to know spiritual history. What is the family like? What are they for? What are they known for? Because I'm telling you, a neighborhood is very telling of how a family is. If your family is known for a certain thing, it's probably true. And that you all got to look at. You can't just look at a Facebook picture or look at a video of them just so. You got to look at them in real time, in real life, in action. How do they handle situations? Because they can act any way. They can act any kind of way with you, hiding their true self. How is he when he gets mad? How is it when he's happy? How is it when things aren't going right? How does he handle it? You got to look at all of that stuff, not just some sweet talk on the phone and on the internet. Anybody can be anybody on the internet. And who knows, the second guy, I do believe he was a catfish. I do believe he is who he is and did what he did in life. But I think as far as right now, he has gotten deceptive and gotten into some things that has turned him away from God. And I wasn't having it because I don't want that in my life. It's going to bring harm, hurt, and pain further to something I was already dealing with. And I don't need to be in a relationship where my problems are ballooning. My problems should be getting better able to be managed. I should be able to manage my problems better without having someone confound the problems that I already have in addition to his. So that was my mistake. I didn't do a thorough physical background check, and I didn't do a thorough spiritual background check. And I would admit I was desperate for a friendship with the first guy. I didn't want to have sex with him, but after a while he turned me. He was gross. And secondly, I'm not going to just make a baby with a man I don't know. And thirdly, I ain't ready to have children yet. And I want to continue to wait until marriage. And even with the second guy, even though I was romantically interested in him, all the parts didn't add up. You can have all this. The second man, he was come from an affluent family, had money in the bank and all that. That's great. He's stable financially. He don't have to go without. Kind of like my family. We never really have to go without, never been on welfare, never had to struggle like that. So we had that similarity going. But at the same time, he had a lot of soul issues he needed to sort out. His inner courts, he needed a lot of reconstruction, a lot of rebuilding, a lot of recreating, a lot of restoring in there, and it was lacking. The first guy, no financial, his physical life was just all out of whack. Second guy, his spiritual life was all out of whack. So you got to be careful. And I got tired of the second guy who always accused me of things and put me down. I blocked him. I said, I'm done. I'm not going to tolerate that. The first man was probably prone to physical abuse. The second man was probably prone to verbal abuse. So neither one I don't deserve. And again, women, if you walk into a crappy relationship with a guy, get the heck out of there. It ain't worth it. Don't beat yourself up. Again, I repeat. Do not beat yourself up for how that man is. It's not your fault. Move on, because that man was like that before he met you, and he was like that when he was with you, and will continue to be like that after you leave him. So just let him go. And instead of beating yourself up, have some introspection, reflect about what you can do better. Like for me, I know the next time a man come around in my life, like I said, I believe life to me is not linear. It's in a cycle. It goes around and around in a circle. So the next time in the point in my life, any point on the circle in my life, in my life cycle, the next time it'll hit the same point again, if you will, and I come across a man or he come across me, I'll know what to take and not to take, and what to expect and not to expect from a man. I know what to look for now, because it's a cycle. It keeps going around and around. It's kind of like a dryer. Our dryer is in a circle. It moves in a circle so it can get every point of the clothes dry. The same thing, I got to air out the crap. I got to get the crap out of the way. So that's what it's like. Each boyfriend or date was a lesson. So the next time a man come around, I know not to fall for the crap I did for these last two guys, friend or not, friend or romantic partner. I know. So women, if you walk into a situation, you can walk out. Do not sit there and say, "Oh, this is what I deserve." You didn't know any better about the guy. Now you know. Don't put up with his crap. Move on. Don't stay. Get out of there. Get the heck out of there. Get the heck out of Dodge. And if he's in your house, kick him out of Dodge and keep him out. And if he think he can come back, you let the cops know. If they can't stay away from you, you better let everybody know about this man. Let them know this man is trying to do this and that. You let the neighborhood know so people can watch out for this guy. And you let the cops know first thing. This man let the cops know. I'm telling you. If you have to, get a restraining order. And yes, they do work, because if he violates a restraining order, his behind is in jail. So, like I said, I doubt. Well, the second guy never saw me, so I don't have to worry about him showing up. And the first guy, I doubt he gonna show up again, because I don't play. When I call the cops on you, you ain't coming back because you don't want to go to jail. So, I know this is a bit long, but I have to get that off my chest. I hope the sound of this came through clearly. But I have to get that off my chest, ladies. Again, the first and foremost point, you get that physical background check, and you get it thoroughly and solidly, and get that spiritual background check as well. Get both. And not just check him, but check his relatives, his family, his associates, his business, everything. You got to check all of that. Don't just go for the face and, oh, he cute, or he fine, or he got money, or he a tall, nice brother. So, both men I talked to, well, the first one was 6'6". I don't know. I didn't know they stacked people that high. I'm like, good day. If somebody is taller than me, I'm 5'5.5". For somebody to be a whole foot taller than me, that's freaking tall. And I'm the average height, and somebody's a whole foot and an inch taller than me, that's tall. And the other guy said he was 6 feet. So I'm saying, he a fine, tall brother. And that fine, tall brother can be a 6'6" heap of trouble. So be careful. Stop getting compliment looks. These fine brothers. Oh yeah, you got some fine brothers out there. Oh yeah, but baby, don't let that fine, handsome face fool you, because there's a lot of fine brothers out there that is messing up these communities, wrecking our women, and destroying women, and taking advantage of women that have low self-esteem or have problems, and they just wrecking them because they see they're an easy target. Don't become a statistic. Put them out. And if you're in his house, you remove yourself from his home and don't go back. because that's what how the problem continues to perpetuate itself. Um, you blame the man, the man, the man, the man. Yes, the man is wrong, but what makes it worse is when the women come back and have sex, and you enable their behavior to continue. So when they go to the next woman, they continue the same behavior. It's this vicious cycle that needs to be broken. So once you see his crap, he ain't up to no good. Cut him off. Cut him off. Not OFF, AWF, off. Now, with that being said, I think I've said enough. I'm going to go sign up for a doctor now. I've been dreading getting this because I had to pay up front. But hey, you know what? I'm going to continue to take care of myself. Get in this doctor. Pray for me as I find a good doctor so I can, because I moved some months ago and I still haven't gotten a chance to find a good doctor in my new town. So pray for me. And ladies, on that note, take care of yourself. Take care of you. Do you. First of all, put God first. And don't put up, even if you walk into a situation, do not put a man above God, and do not keep yourself in that situation because you made a mistake. So on that note, peace and blessings. I'm signing off. Have a good day.